How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. My name is Faze Crypto. Feel free to follow us on Snapchat. And all that being said, today we have a very interesting cryptocurrency to talk about, Stellar. So we saw Stellar hit 1 million accounts. We've reached Stellar milestones left and right. And now the community is ready for Stellar to take that next step forward. And I'd say that September is going to be a very exciting time for not only Stellar, but cryptocurrency across the board. Now, when we talk about Stellar and we talk about various different establishment cryptocurrencies like this, there's always going to be certain haters who come involved, people who generally dislike XRP for its reputation of going against the original Satoshi philosophy and that sort of beginning establishing cryptocurrency philosophy. But as far as I'm concerned, I just want to make money. I see something like Stellar. I see the fact that it's had such stability over a certain amount of time. I see the different, lined up things that are happening, and it's hard to ignore Stellar, especially when you look at the roadmap for Stellar and taking a little bit of time to look at the attention for, the team and how Stellar really is leveraging the global community to its fullest as things continue to move forward. And there's been some really exciting predictions made regarding Stellar, and I'd say that we wouldn't be too outside of the ordinary to see some really exciting growth as things continue to move forward. So this video is going to be a little bit more in-depth than usual. We're going to be talking about some of the interesting details that are happening behind the scenes involving cryptocurrency at large, and how the paradigm shift is really going to be intertwined with the rise of these technologies that have they're really a sense of the pulse of what's happening involving this development on an international scale. Some optimistic signs out of Yahoo. You'll all remember Yahoo. It essentially was the Google before Google dominated, around the similar time of the .com bubble bursting. And back in that age of the internet, if you guys remember using the internet back then, Yahoo was actually the go-to original Google. And the fact that Yahoo is making these strides, steps forward, respectively, when it comes to cryptocurrency trading, this is a very, very interesting sign. Perhaps we could see Yahoo rise up and maybe even take over Google if they can properly position themselves in relationship to cryptocurrency, because things on the internet have a tendency of flipping at a dime, realistically, as we see a lot of these different things are happening with Google, as far as the advertising ban that we were seeing quite a little while ago was a little extreme across the board. Facebook was banning cryptocurrency advertising for a little while, as I remember. A lot of these different social media platforms, YouTube included, were going through a point of controversy around a similar time that we were seeing cryptocurrency going from that $20,000 with a lot of those essentially shady deals, a lot of things happening that were really that was closely intertwined with Facebook and these advertisers. So I don't really blame them so much for taking a step back at that point when things were really sort of hot water. But the fact of the matter is that cryptocurrency is still a doorway that's opening as far as the paradigm shift that's concerned, and these different technology companies that see that opportunity, and in particular Yahoo, where we're seeing, it's interesting that now Yahoo is really taking that step forward, and it could happen if they can really outpace things like Google and so forth. All these different old social media companies are up for grabs, as they're going to start deteriorating with their audiences being unsatisfied with them, as far as like Facebook implementing that basically now they're ranking their users according to whatever criteria that they want to rank their users by. These are the sort of red flags that get people flocking away from Facebook. Now, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and talk about how Facebook's in decline, because I could do that any day of the week, and you could find out about Facebook making these really not so smart decisions. But all that being said, I'm not going to rule Facebook out entirely. I mean, they are pretty big. Your grandma's probably using it, and all these different things. And it's interesting to see. I mean, obviously Facebook and Twitter and so forth losing stock because they've been abusing their user bases with censorship. censorship and really not paying attention to the voices of the users, which is really something that's a shame to see, because I like the functionality of platforms like YouTube and so forth, but when they continue to disregard terms of service and so forth, it creates a shaky foundation, and foundation is everything, because if people can't rely on these social media platforms to do the job that they intend to do, then people are going to go elsewhere. And cryptocurrency and a lot of these rising technologies have a lot of really smart people behind them who are waiting, probably looking forward to seeing the next slip-ups that are going to happen. And everybody's aware of it. It's happening, and with the internet, it's a lot of transparency, and people can really see these things happening in real time. So the fact that these different startups and so forth are leveraging cryptocurrency, it's still going to be very interesting. I mean, Japanese social media giant Line launches cryptocurrency. This is why we keep talking about Japan. This is why we keep talking about Asia and a lot of these different parts of the world that essentially are hardworking as far as technology is concerned, and they're outpacing more Western countries that are a little bit too lazy, a little bit too caught up in the 1990s, early 2000s way of operating. And but as far as, I digress. So talking about Stellar, it is interesting to see how the banks are hopping on board with this paradigm shift, because realistically the banks have they owe it to the people who use their services to stay up to date, and the fact that Stellar has that sort of implementation of being essentially used in a similar vein as far as partnerships that we've been seeing happening as Ripple XRP, and as far as that sort of connection between their shared history together. So as far as Stellar is concerned, I'm definitely interested in seeing where things are going to go as things continue to move forward. And of course, the stability that Stellar's managed to maintain over this long period of time, especially recently, because really one of the things to pay attention to is not necessarily the cryptocurrencies that are doing fantastic during a bull run, because any of these cryptos could gain value, gain notoriety during a bull run, but I believe that it's the times when we're seeing a lot of red, when we're seeing cryptos getting knocked off the board. Those are the most interesting times to see who is actually performing. So in that respect, it is interesting to see, and of course Dogecoin, the winner of today, up 36%, and really it's still anybody's game when it comes to cryptocurrency, and really the technologies that manage to that's probably just a pump and dump, though, people just deciding that they're going to pump Dogecoin. But I don't know, I really didn't do research on Dogecoin before making this video. If you guys would like to enlighten us in the comment section and talk about Dogecoin, I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say about these different cryptos. But what I have to say, my opinion, Stellar definitely is a crypto that I'm personally paying attention to as the year of 2018 moves and progresses forward, especially the year 2019. I'm very interested in particular to see how these technologies are going to be flexing their technology and making those forward innovations into the next paradigm, essentially. And there's been a lot of interesting positive publicity. All publicity is good publicity, but not necessarily in the cryptocurrency space. Positive cryptocurrency news generally tends to help foster a good community, but when people have negative things to say about different cryptos, for the most part, people tend to look the other. A bad reputation really speaks. But let's not talk about bad reputations, because Stellar definitely is a crypto with a very much good reputation. And I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Stellar. In September, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of really interesting developments for this sort of type of cryptocurrency, and a lot of the technologies that are very similar to Stellar. In particular, we're talking about EOS, a lot of these different technologies that are really just waiting for the other top cryptos to make a mistake, so that when their when this next mass adoption phase is fully kicked into gear, we're going to be seeing some really interesting stuff happening with Stellar. I think it'll be in this number 6 position not very much longer. I think we'll definitely be seeing Stellar moving up possibly the number 5 position very shortly with this momentum that's been building behind it. But of course, remember everybody, this video is my opinion. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'd always recommend that you guys follow Stellar on their official Twitter and stay up to date regarding the information on these technologies. But it is very exciting to see these things happening. If you guys are interested interested in connecting with us, you could also do so. Our handle is @CryptoTuber, so if you guys are interested, you could do so simply by sending us a message. Always reading the different things that people want to talk about involving the conversation that's happening regarding these technologies. But yeah, really exciting stuff happening across the board involving crypto. And I'm very excited to be seeing where these bank cryptocurrencies, these different as far as Stellar, how it's been positioning itself for credit cards and so forth, because that's the field that cryptocurrency is really going to have an interesting leverage in. Obviously, very little to no people are buying coffee with a Bitcoin yet, but I mean outside of certain places in Asia. But all that being said, I digress. I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Stay relevant, everybody. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Of course, connect with us on Snapchat if you feel so inclined. And I hope you guys have found this beneficial and worthy of your time. We value our viewers' time, so I'll actually be including some links to different interesting videos about Stellar down in the description. So if you guys want to find some more content to keep watching, continue to watch the channel, or watch one of the videos in the description. Hope you guys have a good day, and have a good one.